Coming up on AgweekTV, after a late start, how are the crops doing? We'll take a look around the region. Farm policymakers gather in Fargo for the Midwest Ag Summit. South Dakota farmers get a lesson about complicated FSA loan programs. And kid campers learn the importance of farm safety. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. Planting is wrapping up across the Dakotas and Minnesota, and crops are quickly starting to emerge. But high temperatures are creating some concern among producers. We take a look in this week's AgWeek cover story.
It's been a hot, dry start to the growing season this year across the Midwest.
Yeah, we're a little concerned about this heat and dryness that we've seen. I know there's been rain in the forecast, especially eastern South Dakota, but it's been hit and miss.
We have basically seen a quarter inch at best since we started planting.
When looking at South Dakota, heat stress is already becoming an issue in crops.
South of Highway 34 in the Huron area, plants are going backwards, especially corn plants, and we're a little concerned about that. I think we've seen that in the expansion of the drought monitor in the past week.
In Minnesota and North Dakota, water hemp and kochia are concerns.
And this is actually very early for water hemp, but the dry, hot conditions is almost ideal for that particular weed.
It always gets to be a little bit a challenge when the planting season gets condensed, but just being mindful too about those weeds and spraying early and being watchful for them.
But across the board, rain is needed.
As the plants get bigger, the demand for water is going to be larger, and we will use up our moisture reserves, and we went into last fall extremely dry, had a good run over the winter. A lot of that moisture went into the ground, but as we know, those snowdrifts were piled up, and the distribution of that water wasn't equal like we'd get with a rainfall. So there's going to be some unevenness in our fields, especially where we had a huge snowpack.
We have a long way to go to kind of make up for the last couple of years, and without the rain we've had so far, we're far from it. I don't think we're to the critical stage yet, but the next 7 to 10 days is going to be a big determining factor in what we're going to have for the rest of the year.
You can read much more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Making sure rural America has access to housing, childcare, high-speed internet, and much more is of the utmost importance, especially for Xochitl Torres Small. She's the USDA Undersecretary for Rural Development. Torres Small was the keynote speaker at the Midwest Agriculture Summit in Fargo this week. She says working with those who have boots on the ground in rural America is a top priority.
And that's what I love about rural development is we can be really flexible. We've got lots of different tools. The challenge is making sure that we're working directly with local people to make sure that they're bringing their vision to life.
This spring, Rural Development announced $5 million in funding for meat processing in North Dakota for expanding Mandan-based Cloverdale foods. Producers, tribal leaders, and organizations under the USDA met in Pierre, South Dakota this week for the USDA and Intertribal Agriculture Council's Great Plains Regional Ag Summit. Dustin Schmidt is a farmer and rancher from White River, South Dakota. Today, he is talking to fellow producers about the impact the FSA programs have made on his operation.
Honestly, that's kind of where I started, is with an FSA loan and to get my first cattle bought. And from there on, we've just kept continuing to use their loan program.
But USDA programs like the FSA loans can be confusing, and that's where this conference comes in.
Really what we're talking about is getting Indian producers equitable access to the programs we've got.
Help producers and to get them there, because a lot of people don't understand that they are available.
Building connections between tribal communities and government agencies to create a better agricultural future.
Tribal producers are one of the few areas in which farming and ranching is actually growing in the United States. We're here for America's farmers and producers, and we are hoping that you see that we are looking to empower you on a daily basis and make sure that you and your families are successful and able to stay in your communities.
I hope they make connections with the folks that they're going to be working with in our county offices. I hope they make connections across the counties themselves, because the producer network is the best network we're ever going to have for spreading the word.
During the event, attendees also talked about the Native Farm Bill Coalition, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, and other ways they can enhance their operations.
Coming up on AgweekTV, we'll take you to the 94th Annual North Dakota State FFA Convention.
The Prairie Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finished 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at Crary.com.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Brimmer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
North Dakota is a leader in ag commodities like corn and soybeans. When farmers and animal ag work together, we can keep more dollars in North Dakota.
Well, the opportunities for North Dakota on the animal ag side is really to add value to our grains that we're shipping out of this state.
We do purchase crops from our neighbors instead of the crops like soybeans and corn and wheat being shipped out of states. They're able to be used within the state, reducing some of those costs to ship those products and increasing the value to farmers within the state.
From adding value to crops to natural fertilizer, it's clear that there are win-win opportunities for animal ag and the crop industry.
Diversification on our farm is huge to make it profitable for the next generation and generations after that. I partner with Animal Ag. There's not a dollar amount that we put on it.
Let's keep North Dakota crops at home. Support growing North Dakota agriculture. Visit animalagnd.com to learn more.
A sea of Blue Jackets was in Fargo, North Dakota earlier this week for the 94th Annual State FFA Convention. Katie Pinky was there and has more.
We're coming to you from the 94th Annual North Dakota State FFA Convention, and here at Memorial Union, the art gallery has been transformed into the Agri-Science Fair. Beth Allen joins us. Tell us a little bit about what's different this year.
This year, for the first time ever, we received some dollars from Microsoft, and we are going to be able to award each student in each of the divisions. So we are so excited to be able to award these kids for all of their hard work, as we've done in the other contests in years past.
Agri-Science Fair is maybe something different that people haven't thought about within FFA before. It really combines science and agriculture.
Absolutely. All of the students, they're in each of the different levels of the Agri-Science Fair, they have to match certain criteria to meet those groups. And they research, study, some might be dog food, different types of dog food, and compare it. So many different levels. And in today's world, agri-science is so big in agriculture that the sky is just the limit for what these kids can do.
You wrote the grant. Obviously, this is a passion for you.
Our sole responsibility is to raise dollars for the North Dakota FFA members in North Dakota and our North Dakota Team Ag Ed. That would be our farm management program, the NDSU's agriculture education program. We have the FFA Association. We have all these different groups, the alumni. And so we help support all of them. It helps our kids be able to travel to national convention. It gives them, they get monetary awards for their hard work and dedication that they put in. And so we've never been able to do this for the Agri-Science Fair, and I have just been very passionate about trying to include everybody because they work just as hard as the next kid in a contest.
Well, there is 93 chapters in the FFA in North Dakota, over 1,300 members here, and thanks for highlighting the Agri-Science Fair with us today, Beth Allen.
The convention was held June 5th through the 8th. Grain conditioning equipment can greatly impact an operation's bottom line. I met with Rhodey Jelleberg, grain dryer operations manager, to see how Superior grain equipment does just that. Rhodey, Superior is well known for their grain bins, but how did they get into the dryer market?
Back in 2013, we had an opportunity to purchase Excel grain dryers, which was a derivative of the original Vertec and IBAC dryers from the 60s. They were bought by Phoenix, which is a Canadian company, which then turned into a company out of Waseca, Minnesota, father and son, building a couple dryers a year. We purchased the company, had side fan models. We did some engineering changes, made the under fan models like we have here, and expanded the model line for small farms all the way up to large commercial operations.
And how has that impacted farmers' bottom lines?
Essentially, you can get in the field earlier. You can also lessen your field loss by getting in the field earlier. You have to have a way to get the moisture out, especially corn. And the only way to do that is with a high temp mechanical dryer such as that we offer.
So with this specific operation, what was this farmer looking to incorporate in terms of grain handling equipment?
So he had originally 4 bins and wanted to add on some additional storage for dry as well as a wet bin and then a dryer because he was taking on more acreage, needed to get in the field earlier, get that product out. Last year was a wet season, late start, ended up being a fairly dry season at the end, so he didn't have to use the dryer a whole lot, but just having the dryer there gave him the opportunity to be able to get in there quicker and dry down faster and be able to complete his harvest.
And what does the planning process look like with this sort of operation?
Essentially, we look at what you have for space and then take in how many acres you're doing, how many average bushels per acre. We do some formulations to figure out, okay, how much can you harvest in a day? How long do you want to run the dryer? Do you want to run it, 12 hours a day? Do you want to run it 24 hours a day?
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Rhodey.
Absolutely, thank you.
Rhodey Jelleberg. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll find out how an ag partner can help with your operation.
Since the inception of Vatterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Get a jump on next season's crop. Before you put your planter away after the planting season, bring it to the experts at Titan Machinery for a full inspection. Titan Machinery service technicians have the experience and training to inspect your Case IH planter and get it in optimal condition for next season. Get a head start on next season and get the peace of mind that your planter is ready when you store it for the winter. Contact the planter experts at your local Titan Machinery Case IH dealership today.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
grow. Hamilton System Inc. in Drayton, North Dakota is the North American distributor of the Fantini corn and sunflower header. Both the L03 corn head and the G03 sunflower head have a simple, high-efficiency, low-maintenance PTO-driven gearbox, which eliminates slippage and power loss even in the most trying conditions. These heads are built with a solid one-piece frame and tubular steel construction that will withstand the harshest field conditions. Available in models from 4 to 18 rows, they adapt to any combine and come with a 4-year warranty on the transmission units.
AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Is this heat here to stay? Here's our AccuWeather outlook.
I'm meteorologist Jared Piepenberg, and the outlook here as we continue over the next couple of weeks, looking pretty similar. We've had some heat in place over the northern plains and upper Midwest, and looks like more of that will be in store for us here across the northern plains and upper Midwest as well. Parts of the Midwest may stay a little drier. Looking across the Great Lakes area, parts of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin potentially will end up staying drier, where as you look off toward the west, potentially the western Dakotas could end up having some more wet weather in the lee of the Rockies. So that may be kind of our pattern that'll be setting up over the next week and a half or so. Checking out the U.S. Drought Monitor, still very dry conditions in the central plains. Up in the northern plains and upper Midwest, we do have some areas that are still dry with that moderate drought conditions down in southeastern parts of Iowa, southwestern Iowa and southeastern parts of South Dakota. Otherwise, a large chunk of North Dakota right now not in the Drought Monitor. All right, upper level flow pattern jumping way in the upper atmosphere. We've had this ridge in place with the East Coast dealing with some precipitation here in the northern plains. Looks like more of the same, and that really looks like it might be the theme here. Later on next week, dip in the upper atmosphere across the Rockies may bring some wet weather across kind of the western half of the lower 48, which may produce some showers and thunderstorms in the lee of the Rockies, which may end up with some wet weather the western side of the Dakota. So let's talk about precipitation outlook here. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook across the Rockies, looking a little wetter generally, but as I mentioned, across parts of the northern plains, upper Midwest, as you head off toward the east, the Great Lakes area may just have a little drier conditions, where the western Dakotas will be seeing a little better shot of having some precipitation over the next week and a half. Now, the temperature outlook, more heat. That upper level ridge that's in place, looks like we're going to be talking more upper 80s to 90s across parts of the region. And look at even bullseyes parts of our area here for South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin here in that 6 to 10 day outlook. So looking like above average temperatures, which we've had here over the past couple of weeks. Temperature outlook for next week, so we're getting kind of that 8 to 14 day outlook here. Still hot through most of the plains, where it will be a little bit cooler off toward the west, and still staying a little bit warmer as you even head east of the Great Lakes area. And just a closer view of home here, we'll be kind of right on that edge, and most likely just staying pretty warm for the month of June. Precipitation outlook for next week, staying wet off toward the west, kind of equal chances of what we call the gray shaded area, which kind of covers a big chunk of Minnesota, central parts of the plains, and the western parts of the Dakotas, maybe right on the edge of still seeing some of that precipitation filtering into the area. Precipitation outlook for the whole month of June, a little better shot of having those drier conditions just east of that ridge, which would be kind of across the Great Lakes area, parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest, with some wet weather just to our south and west. Temperature outlook, though, it does look warm, and that may linger around here and hold pretty strong for the month of June. And notice that does include both Dakotas and Minnesota.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with Pasture Rangeland Forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the risk management specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
It's important for all dairy producers to have a knowledgeable ag partner they can trust to help them navigate operational challenges with confidence. I met with Andy Zudema, Ag Relations Manager, to discuss how Bremer can help you with that.
Andy, tell me about Bremer Bank.
Yeah, sure. So Bremer has been around for 80 years, and so we've got a lot of longevity there, and along with that comes a lot of knowledge and expertise too in the banking industry, and specifically agriculture. That's really where we shine. We are located in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and North Dakota, and we've recently expanded into South Dakota and Iowa too. So expanding outside of just our brick and mortar footprint and going into those areas and servicing those ag clients. We really don't have any kind of constraints anymore, with the developments of technology, and we can reach any client that we want. We are also the 9th largest ag lender in the country, so that's a nice feather in our hat that we like to tout.
June is Dairy Month, so what are some of the obstacles dairy producers are facing right now, and how can they combat them?
The biggest challenge right now, we've got low milk prices and we've got high feed costs. And so right now, we've got a lot of our producers who are out there and working with individuals like a dairy consultant and other partners to really come beside them as a team and understand where are the obstacles within the framework of their operation, and meeting with them on a quarterly basis so that they can pivot and change directions if there is something that came up that wasn't originally in their projection or their plan. And that will allow them to make those decisions on the fly and not wait till the end of the year and then just see the results.
For those interested in Bremer Bank Ag Solutions, how can they find out more about it?
Yeah, visit bremer.com, check out the content online, and then get in touch with an ag banker.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Up next on AgweekTV, some summer campers learn all about farm safety.
The Prairie Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finished 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at crary.com.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with pasture rangeland forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the risk management specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
Since the inception of Vatterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
Get a jump on next season's crop. Before you put your planter away after the planting season, bring it to the experts at Titan Machinery for a full inspection. Titan Machinery service technicians have the experience and training to inspect your Case IH planter and get it in optimal condition for next season. Get a head start on next season and get the peace of mind that your planter is ready when you store it for the winter. Contact the planter experts at your local Titan Machinery Case IH dealership today.
A farm can be a dangerous place, especially for kids. I visited one of NDSU Extension's youth farm safety camps to see how they're teaching North Dakota's kids to be safer on the farm.
I just want to know the safety to keep me safe and my family safe so we can keep farming.
Thomas Jewett is an 8th grader from Barnes County, North Dakota. He wanted to attend the 3-day camp to help him stay safe on the farm.
My cousin got into an accident with a chain and it kind of hit us hard. That's how we got land to farm. And I didn't want that to happen to any of us. So I just really wanted to learn safety, and this camp helped with it.
The camp teaches safe tractor operation, skid steer safety, farm first aid, an ATV driving course, and much more.
And I think it's important for everyone to, learn how to be safe with equipment and on the farm and everything. As farm accidents, they are common, unfortunately.
Chance Jacobson is a sophomore from Hatton, North Dakota. He knows firsthand how important it is to be safe on the farm.
I was in a UTV accident last summer. Last July, I was on my way home from checking cattle pastures, and I was hit when I was turning off of the highway. And the Ranger tipped, and I slid 21 feet with my legs underneath the Ranger. And my seatbelt is definitely what saved me and what kept me, as in good shape as I am today. Always wear your seatbelt. Even if it's harvest, planting, whatever, it takes 2 seconds and it can change your life. It changed mine.
Both boys plan on farming and ranching when they're older, and they think the farm safety camp is a valuable resource.
If you're really looking into that agriculture stuff, you should really come because it helps you, and you learn a lot. It helps you with safety, and it's really, really fun.
The next farm safety camp is June 26th through the 28th in Bismarck. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. A child care center on the grounds of a North Dakota school helps rural families. And the pork producers reflect on tough conditions for the industry while at the World Pork Expo. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.